The weather forecast has improved throughout the course of the day for Saturday night soccer here in downtown Indianapolis. See if the forecast gets better for the Indy 11, looking for a first win in this building against FC Tulsa. Thanks for joining us on a new television home, WRTV Channel 6. Those of you watching the television network and ESPN Plus, we thank you too. It's Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder. Thank you so much for joining us. 7 days ago, it was a wild Saturday night, both from a weather perspective as well as from a play perspective. The Indy 11 did something that you don't often do. Down 2 goals and down a man. They came back to pull a point, largely through the efforts of Solomon Asante and Aiden Quinn. Brad, what is the carryover effect from a draw that felt like a win 7 days ago?
That's exactly what it was. Instead of walking out with this, I mean, you're down 2 goals. Rake, I've never seen this in my entire life as a player, as a coach, and as a broadcaster. Absolutely unbelievable. That energy has to transfer into tonight.
We showed you the results in terms of the PKs. Aiden Quinn now team high in terms of goals with 5, all of them from the spot, and more on Aiden throughout the course of the broadcast. The only man that could top him, though, for the league's team of the week was Philip Goodrum. He was a mid-season acquisition by Tulsa, brought him in from Memphis. He has hit the ground running, including a game winner against Detroit last time out.
Unbelievable pickup. Things weren't working in Memphis. The new system, new coach just wasn't clicking. Comes to Tulsa, holy smokes, he's back on the pace he was on last year.
And again, he is the reigning USL Championship Player of the Week. FC Tulsa has just 1 road win so far this season. It came at Lou City in come-from-behind fashion back on May 24th. Who got the winner that night? Philip Goodrum did. These 2 teams are running. We certainly hope you are as well. Thanks for joining us for Indy 11 Soccer on RTV6, the Indy 11 Television Network, and ESPN Plus.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Lock in your rate with pre-approval. It's fast, free, and makes buying the car of your dreams easier. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
When the online trends keep getting worse.
And you lost your keys in the metaverse.
Now your right swipe just went left on you.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do? You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, hey.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Let's get to our starting lineups. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf as well. 5 at the back again for the Indy 11. No Gustavo Ricci due to a red card, and a late week injury to Jesus Vasquez has changed things up. Meshach Jerome now enters the starting lineup. And of note, Stefano Pino is back. He is not in the starting lineup yet, but firepower off the bench and then some for head coach Mark Lowry.
Yeah, what a great addition, and it couldn't have come at a better time. You know, you got 2 games this week, so to bring in another prolific scorer, that is a big help.
On the flip side, again, Goodrum gets the most of the attention for FC Tulsa. Eric Bird is their veteran. He's been in Tulsa now for the last 5 seasons. And of note, Michael Nelson in goal. 51 saves so far this year, second best in the USL Championship.
The local kid, Warmel, had been doing great, so Nelson must have just either lit it up in practice or he's just on a confident hot streak right now.
Benjamin Meyer is our referee. He is joined by John Krill, Eric Burton, and Noah Matos is our 4-man crew for tonight's matchup. Look at Benjamin. FC Tulsa will have the opening possession. These 2 teams played twice last year. They were in the same division 2 years ago, playing 4 times. This is the 7th matchup in the respective rivalry history. Indy has not beaten Tulsa in this building. In fact, Tulsa ruined the return of the mic back in May of 21 with a 2-0 victory that night. Indy's lone win came in Tulsa back in early August of 2021. We thank you for joining us again and want to welcome the good folks at RTV Channel 6. We'll be here for tonight's match as well as the Saturday match against the Rowdies of Tampa Bay on July the 22nd. Welcome a new audience joining us on WRTV6. And Lindley wearing the colorful captain's armband on this Pride night this evening. Long diagonal ball intended for Douglas Martinez. Throw in coming for FC Tulsa.
He can get up. I mean, he's just got such great ability to read the ball and be able to win it, you know, whether it's a header in the box or a ball like that. And, you know, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We see that Cam Lindley to Martinez all the time going touchline to touchline.
Here is Goodrum, an immediate early touch. The young man that has scored goals both in Memphis and Atlanta United 2 in previous stops in the league. And Adrian Dizpay quickly clears out Goodrum. We'll see if there is any additional actions taken other than a talking to, because cards have suddenly become a thing for the Indy 11 defensively. There will be a set piece coming here for the visitors from Northeast Oklahoma. And clearly worthy of a foul.
Yeah, and I agree, no card there. I mean, it just came in a little bit hard. Didn't look like it was anything malicious.
Goodrum 4 goals and assists. Marcus Epps 4 goals as well. He is slated to come off the bench tonight for new head coach Blair Gavin. Blair was exchanging some pleasantries with Solomon Asante before the match. Those 2 were together in Phoenix during Solomon's tremendous days out in the desert. Ball sent in. Jerome got a boot to it. Blast from distance. Took a turn off an 11 player. It was Fernandez that took the shot. And in just a couple of minutes in, we will have our first Wilson Kehoe-Winningham corner kick of the match.
Oh, that was a great serve.
And this is a Tulsa team that we have seen a lot over the last couple of years, but this is really almost an exclusively new group that Blair Gavin has put together.
Well, new group, new coach, and even if you start scouting them in game planning for them early in the season, the addition of Goodrum changes everything.
He and the contract of Rodrigo DaCosta were exchanged between Memphis and Tulsa in May, and DaCosta is the all-time leader in appearances, minutes, goals, and assists for FC Tulsa. Dario Suarez also exiting after starting the season in Tulsa, so really a completely different team than we've seen. After sublime service the first time in, not so much from the corner. And all back to midfield to reset for the visitors. Here's Nelson. Take a quick look at our injury report brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. O'Brien Rabion continues to be out with injury. Jack Blake is back in the lineup after missing last week's match. In fact, he's missed the last 2 for the Indy 11. Ball at his feet right now. And Jesus Vasquez was slated to start and then suffered an injury late in training this week. And just as Mark Lowry thought his team was getting healthy,
exactly.
Not so much.
And of course, the defender.
Again, 2 players out due to injury, a 3rd out due to a red card. 2nd match that Gustavo Risi has missed in the last month due to a red card. Picked one up against Hartford back on June 10th. And picked one up, trailing a 0-0 last week. Quinn applying pressure.
And you've seen it here on these two balls that Indy 11 has cleared out. The back line is looking at each other as they're moving up, and they're moving up with pace. So Indy is really looking to compress this play in the center part of the field.
The other thing of note in terms of a difference in not formation but personnel for the Indy 11, as Bird tracks this one down on the right side. We'll wait till the kind of game gets to a moment to stop and think about it before I bring up the remainder of that point. Malou. But up top, you're going to see Harrison Robledo getting some more minutes. He's played consistently, but mostly off the bench. Inserting him into the starting lineup means what for Mark Lowry tonight?
Well, there's a couple things that he brings.
Opportunity here. Erdl couldn't get there, and that's a goal for FC Tulsa. Erdl could not make the run. Moses Dyer gets his third goal of the season, and once again, Indy will chase it just 5 minutes in. And the constant theme for Indy all year has been just switching off for a moment at the back and opposing teams capitalizing on it, and it's exactly what FC Tulsa just did.
Yeah, there is nothing in this. It's an attempt to clear, just a mishit, and then it winds up, as we've seen throughout the course of the season, it winds up at the feet of a forward, unmarked in the 18.
Moses Dyer from New Zealand, last played for Valor FC in the Canadian Premier League. Had one literally fall at his feet. Tulsa a goal to the good, 5.5 minutes in. Dyer third on the team in goals scored now with 3 on the season, and this is an all too familiar refrain for the boys in blue. This is the halfway point of the season for the Indy 11. 17 down and 17 to go upon the conclusion of business tonight. And I think they will tell you there are large chunks of matches where they have felt they have been the better team this year.
Yeah, we have too.
But it's just a moment or two that seemingly has done them in on a regular basis. And obviously there's a lot of soccer left to play this evening, but you know, we've seen this script before.
Yeah, and the unfortunate part is it's not just clicking off for a moment. This was not a click off moment. This is an attempt to clear, and it's a missed clear. And as we've seen, the ball just winds up in a dangerous spot.
Well, let's take a look at our keys to the match. They are brought to us by our Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana proud to be Honda's home turf too. And obviously, not getting down 1-0 was a goal for the Indy 11. What else are they looking to work on tonight?
Yeah, I left that off. I apologize. One of the things, aspects of the game, there's the technical aspect, tactical aspect, there's the physical aspect, there's also the emotional aspect. We talked about it in the pregame. That emotional comeback last week, you build on that. You take that energy, you got to bring it out into this tonight. The other part is width. We've seen when you spread the field, you have the chance to isolate players. We've seen it. Martinez's first goal of the season, solo isolated in one-on-ones, draws 2 penalty kicks to bring the team back. The isolation allows Indy to use their speed and their technical ability. For Tulsa, it's quick interplay in the final third. You talked about it. The Indies dropped 5 into the back. That really compresses the lanes and the channels to play. The way to get through that for Tulsa is quick interplay. 1- and 2-touch combinations to get themselves through, and then dial up 9 early. Find Goodrum as he's playing up top there. Get that ball to him. Get him a lot of touches. He makes things happen. You're just going to sit there silent after that? Some brilliant keys, because I missed the one about don't go down a goal 5 minutes in.
Keys were fantastic, as they always were. Dial 9 to get out. I like that. Well played.
So you asked earlier about Robledo, what he brings. Look at this. This is what he brings. He brings this relentless energy. He's willing to press everything. So defensively, he's just got pace and creativity in the way that he presses the ball. But the other part is he's got the unique ability to break lines and create space for himself individually.
He's played in every match but one, has the young man that's on loan from FC Cincinnati, who's 21 years of age, but this is just his 6th start of the season. Molina has kind of taken up that spot. Molina will come in off the bench tonight. One of the many mid-season acquisitions for the Indy 11. And Jerome back in the lineup because of the late week injury to Jesus Vasquez. Robbie Dambrot available for selection. I think that Mark Lowry preferred to leave him on the bench if possible tonight to save him for Wednesday, knowing there's the quick midweek turnaround. Take on the Charleston Battery. There was a window of space there for the 11. Martinez could not keep the ball at his feet. Throw in coming for FC Tulsa.
And that goes to what you were talking about. That's that moment when you click off. You know, Cam typically delivers that ball in front of Martinez, and he's able to run onto it. Martinez typically handles the ball like that, you know, perfectly cleanly. Instead, this one just runs out of bounds for Tulsa.
Goodrum able to work his way around Macaulay King, and then King gives the foul. Second foul drawn by Goodrum over the course of the last few moments. Earlier one was against Aiden Quinn.
Here's the thing with Goodrum is he's a finisher, and he's big. He's a big body guy. He's tall. And typically there's more target stuff in those kind of players, and he can play that hold-up target guy. But he's got pace. He presses with pace. He chases with pace. On the break, he's got pace.
Tonight's game brought to us in part by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana, winning is in our DNA. For more information, visit forthewinners.com. Tulsa's magic in this building continues. They played here late last season, picked up a 4-2 victory. Also picked up 7 points out of a possible 12 against Indy. A year where they were in the same division. Indy first joined the USL Championship. Tulsa was playing in the Western Conference. Now they are the westernmost team in the Eastern Conference. And a throw in coming here for FC Tulsa in front of the Indy 11 bench. Michael Encian had been the head coach in Tulsa. Tulsa made a move to go in an opposite direction. Donovan Ricketts was the interim coach for the second half of last year. He is still on the staff here of FC Tulsa. A couple of very familiar names are next to him on the bench. Richie Ryan, who played forever for Mark Lowry in both Jacksonville and El Paso, and Matt Watson, who was a part of the Indy 11 staff last year and spent 3 years playing for Martin Rennie with the Indy 11.
I will tell you, Richie Ryan, you know, just the warrior that he is, the way that he has played. The first year of retirement is the toughest. I honestly felt by this time of the season we'd see him in uniform.
Do you think there could be a movement to have Richie Ryan and Iose both playing tonight's match? Dees Pay is fouled. Restart coming for the Indy 11 here in minute number 12. Of course, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Well, I think the feeling was there was going to be multiple goals in this game. Tulsa last time out won a 3-2 match, while Indy would rather not chase the game. And I'm not sure one's going to win this one.
Well, you look, we discussed the comeback last week. When you come down from 2 goals and a man down to equalize and grab a point, you know, giving up a goal, and you know, if you're looking for a silver lining, you gave it up early. There's plenty of time to chase this one. You know you can do this. You just did it 7 days ago.
But this is the category where something has to give. Tulsa has won once on the road this season. Indy has won once at home this season. And both of those respective results happened in May. Budati, bad shoulder and all, clouded into by the veteran in Eric Berg. Budati dislocated his shoulder on May 27th. Was back playing by June 17th. King, second stint with the Indy 11. Cam Lindley goes down, and referee says contact's made with the ball first, but then Indy forces a turnover. Lindley chips it. Guenzati could not get on it. Quinn asks for a handball, don't get it. Robledo plays it wide. Budati was looking back post. Bird gets in the way. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. First really kind of moments of danger for the Indy 11 in possession tonight. Quinn. King. Thought he might have a hit from distance. Blake. Guenzati. Lindley. Now he and Martinez not on the same page.
Yeah, but I like the thought there. You know, Martinez keeps his heels on the touchline, and that puts that defender in a position where he's got to make a decision. He either jams up the space and makes Cam play to Martinez in front of him, or he goes and he starts to take away the opportunity for Martinez, and then he opens up the space for that through ball. And on that one, the defender was kind of in no man's land. Cam read it to play it through. Martinez didn't make that run.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today.
That's a great defensive play by Dispay. You look at it, and if you're in position where you can step and you can just nick the ball and make sure Goodrum doesn't get his first touch, that's going to play to your advantage all night.
We're listed at 5 at the back, but it's going to be very flexible, knowing how much the backs kind of get up and get into the attack for the Indy 11. King, who has played more along the back line in this brief stint with the Indy 11. But we knew him as more of a winger in playing for Martin Runny. Again, Macaulay played for Mark Lowry in El Paso as well. Robledo hustling in and kept the play alive. Blake did call his own number eventually. Sliding effort by Rucci. First time we have called his name tonight. Made that into a relatively easy play for Michael Nelson. Blake with a pair of goals this season. He had the equalizing goal in the 1-1 draw against Hartford Athletic on June 10th. Robledo again digs in. Mishak Jerome, and that's going to be a foul against the goal scorer in Moses Dyer. Blake. Manzotti just a brief touch, and a throw in coming here. Macaulay King and the Indy 11. Mark Gavin talking to the fourth official about how that was against his man. Thought that was heading any other direction. Happened directly in front of him. Did said foul. Good interplay between Quinn and Blake. Robledo swings it out wide. Budati leaves it for Quinn. Quinn a quick glance, but Manzotti could not track it down. The dummy, the leave, Martinez. Blake looking back post. Bird squares it away. And this is almost reminiscent, Brad, of what we saw the first several matches of the season. Wonderful buildup,
right?
Just not that finishing touch,
right? And some of it can come in transition. Right now, with as much as it takes you to get that ball into the attacking third, Tulsa's got 8, sometimes 9 guys back behind the ball. Makes space very, very much a premium. If you can get a little bit quicker movement and try and get that ball into that attacking third before they get set, you'll have more opportunities.
This is a big match in terms of a potential playoff spot. And again, you're now to the back half of the season, starting to think more about that. Indy right now is in 7th, sitting on 20 points. Tulsa is just outside the top 8. They're in 9th, currently on 16 points. This is a big one, especially knowing the first head-to-head tiebreaker are head-to-head results in the championship. This match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Here's Goodrum. Goodrum couldn't slide it by Erdl. And it will be a goal kick coming.
Watch the buildup of this. Right when that ball gets turned over in the middle, Goodrum knows exactly where the run is, exactly where the space is, and he takes off. It's not read well by the Indy defenders because he's alone in that, and then the ball is played right into that pocket for him. Right here, Goodrum takes off into the lane, into the channel, and he's alone.
And if you give him that much space, he's going to burn you at some point with it. He has been, you know, to me, he is very reminiscent of Wilson Harris in this league. Just a matter of getting that opportunity at the next level.
Well, here's the kicker. You know, he got 21 goals last year, and then heading into this year, 0 through the first, stint in Memphis. Then he comes to Tulsa. He's been here 6 games, and he's leading the team in goals with 4. He's on pace. So we're at halfway point. So 3 times 6 games, 3 times 4 goals. He would be at 12 goals at this point in the season. That's math, right? That's math.
It's well played by you, dating back to your days at DePaul University. Dyer charging forward. Dispay able to step up and get in the way of that one. Now Martinez is the target. Martinez goes down. That's going to be just outside of the 18. That'll be a yellow card shown first of the match. And a restart in the most dangerous of positions here for the Indy 11. Quinn has been the guy from the spot. Where Indy has not been overly dangerous this year is on corners or on free kicks such as this one. But they have not had one that literally is, say, 18 yards and a couple of inches away than what they have had so far.
Right, and you look at, and I like this look, you've got, either Blake or Cam on the ball and Quinn on the ball. And so at this point, you got a left-footed option, you've got a right-footed option, so that keeps the defense honest. Now, the thing is, you got to hope Martinez is feeling good enough that he can get in the box because he is so dangerous in the air.
Indy taking their time here on this restart. Quinn drives it in, and Indy would like to have that one back. Nelson able to see that one pretty easily. Not exactly much in the way of traffic in front of Nelson.
Yeah, and you wonder if he saw that he had an opportunity to go to goal and he mishit it, or he was looking to just drive a ball on frame that maybe Indy could find a runner that just could get in there and get a touch on it.
Well, the action is tilted in favor of the Indy 11 since the Tulsa goal. But Indy has yet to do damage in terms of equalizing on the scoreboard. A special guest that'll join us kind of in our next stoppage in play, but it's been one-sided in favor of Indy. Robledo a touch, Robledo a hit.
Oh,
could not get through. Rashid Teta did just enough to get in the way as Robledo is looking for his first goal in this building since the Open Cup back in early April.
And you take a look at the balls that are being fed into Martinez right now. That's an area that's got to be cleaned up. It's either to his back foot, where he can't use his pace because he's got to wait and collect it, or it's too far out in front. He's having to spend all of his pace to just save it from going out of bounds, and then he's not in position where he can run to goal. So clean that up a little bit, get him right in stride, and let him attack that front post.
Goodrum providing just enough pressure for Yannick Erdl. And King craftily plays that ball, I thought, off of... your referee pointed the wrong direction. Yep, that was going to say, yep. That was pretty easy to see that was going to be off of Dyer, as was the case. So as Indy starts to build from the back, let's welcome Andrea Hamoya. She is the CEO and founder of Ash and Elm Cider Company. Andrea, welcome to the Indy 11 match. How are you this evening?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Boys in Blueberry. Tell us about it.
So Boys in Blueberry is a cider we made just for the Indy 11 team based off of, obviously, the name Boys in Blue. It's a blueberry and boysenberry cider, and it's been so well received. It just makes us really happy that we're a part of this partnership.
I have had it. I think you guys were kind enough to drop off 4-packs.
Yes.
And so I forget if that was around Memorial Day weekend, but it's fantastic.
Thank you.
But I have to ask, who came up with the name? That is unbelievably clever.
You know, I so wish I could claim it, but someone else from the Indy 11 side was like, I've had an idea. What about like a Boys and Blueberry cider? And I was like, oh, we can make that happen.
That's brilliant.
In terms of non-Indy 11 related flavors and brands,
yes,
walk us through the list that you've got available.
Okay, so we have Fleeting Youth is our most popular cider. It's raspberry and lemon. Then we have Sunset, which is a tart cherry cider. And then our two more apple-forward ciders are Landmark, which is a dry cider, and Wayfinder, which is kind of a semi-sweet cider.
Tremendous recovery by Macca King as he let Fernandez get by him. Then Robledo with the back pressure able to take it away. Andrea Hamoya, CEO and founder of Ash and Elm Cider. Again, Boys in Blueberry tied into the Indy 11 is our special guest. Tell us how you end up in the cider business.
It's been a long and winding road, but it's been exciting and fun, and you know, we're happy to be here.
Talk about cider. Now, cider I'm seeing it coming on like 5 years ago. It was almost unheard of. And now you're seeing it pop up everywhere in the different flavors and the popularity that you guys have gained here early on. What's the explosion due to?
So I think as people really look for different flavors all of the time. Cider is such a great vessel for additional flavorings. You know, beer, you can have a fruited beer or a sour beer, but they're still kind of a very strong beer flavor, whereas cider is kind of a clean palate and takes additional flavors on so well. And so I think as people are more interested in trying new flavors and experimenting with flavors, cider has become more and more popular.
Andrea, I've got a homework assignment for you.
Uh-oh.
Well, we are known as the boys in blue and clearly wearing the blue checkers tonight. Occasionally now we wear red. We have to think of a second name as a, you know, think of it as a second movie of a trilogy.
Okay.
It's a successful follow-up, so we're going to work on some sort of red theme to blend in with the boys occasionally in red. What do you think?
I mean, immediately I go to red raspberry, but I'm sure there are lots of options there.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot. You've got time to work on this.
We've got time and we've got great flavors, so we can make it happen.
Foul called against FC Tulsa. All right, website, social media for more information. Where should our viewers go?
Yes, we're at www.ashandelmcider.com, all spelled out, and you can find us on all of our socials at ashandelmcider.com. Not .com, at Ashen Elm Cider.
You brought us a 4-pack to enjoy during the broadcast tonight, right?
Of course I did.
Okay,
I'll be right back with it.
We'll work on it. I'm kidding about that, by the way. Andrea, thank you so much for the time, and thanks for partnering with the Indy 11.
Thank you for having me.
You've got it, Andrea Hamoya again. She is the founder and CEO of Ashen Elm Cider. So, Brad, in your best play-by-play skill set, describe Boys in Blueberry to me.
Exactly what you would assume. It's a cider that has a blueberry feel to it. And, oh, my goodness.
Back post follow-up does not go. Another opportunity that goes by the wayside for the Indy 11. And then a foul called against Jack Blake, and the scoring threat will temporarily come to an end for the Indy 11.
My goodness, the athleticism from that play from Guenzotti is next level.
And missed it by just a couple of inches. He may need a Boys in Blueberry to soften the blow of missing that one at the end of the match.
She talked about crispness and stuff. It's very light and crisp. I enjoyed it. Boys in Blueberry.
Thanks for rubbing in that I haven't had one yet. Appreciate that. These pay. Another win in the air again. Indy been chasing this one for the last 20 minutes. The goal by Moses Dyer, his third of the season. There's been a moment or two that's been threatening since then for Tulsa, but for the most part, it has been Indy that has dictated the opportunities and the tempo.
You referenced it early on. It feels like this is a game that feels like there's a lot of goals in it. And I think as soon as that equalizer comes from Indy, you're going to see this tilt dramatically in Indy's favor. But they need to get that one. If Tulsa is able to hang around and either keep it here or nick another one, it's going to be a long night.
Even though these two teams are drastically different than they were a year ago. Again, the last time they played it was 4-2 in this building, and the victors took all 3 points home with them. Robledo couldn't find a window to get it to Guenzotti. Udati is the safety valve out wide. Quinn couldn't find him properly. Meshach Jerome, the native of Haiti, has played for Mark Lauer at every stop along the way. Jacksonville, El Paso, and now Indianapolis. Martinez. Blake has a hit, but
we've seen it.
Not much in the way of traffic. Again, added to Nelson's impressive save total. 51, second best in the league coming into the match.
That's one of those weird stats.
Where you don't want to lead the league, and that means you've been seeing a lot of shots. Now, to Nelson's credit, it means he's been very durable. He has basically started every match but one so far this year. And as you pointed out, he beat out the local product. Austin Warnell had won that job over the last couple of years, so much to the point where Sean Lewis became expendable and came here last year when there was a rotating door of goalkeepers. 4 different keepers appeared in a match last year for the Indy 11, which is 3 more than appeared in a match this year for the Indy 11, as Yannick Erdl has played in every minute of every match so far this year. Attempted to become the 3rd different Indy 11 keeper to have a stat like that in the 10-year history of the franchise. The other 2 being Christian Niecht in year number 1, and Owain Von Williams in the first USL Championship season of 2018. Write that down.
Got it.
There'll be a quiz later. So minute number 29. Lindley. We'll switch up sides of the attack. Boudadi will play it towards the back. Let's thank our friends, the Morales Group. Staffing agencies find jobs. The Morales Group, we build futures. Martinez just couldn't get there in time. The solid formation behind the ball, and again, Tulsa has not really kind of pushed the tempo. There's Robledo's speed.
I would have loved to see that ball get all the way out to Martinez there.
It got to him now. He's got options across and trying to tap it in, flags up. Even if Guenzati had made contact, he would have been just a touch offside. So the flag goes up against Indy. Everything but that final touch right now for the boys in blue.
Yeah, and so much, and we've talked about over the last few games, so much starts coming through Martinez. His width stretches things, puts defenders in decision-making mode, and every time you ask for decisions, the more complicated the ask becomes, then the more difficult it is for the player. And you can start to see, as you get him more touches wide, good things happen.
This is the second of 4 consecutive matches at home for the Indy 11. The next two, Charleston here for the first midweek home match of the USL Championship season. Wednesday night, you can catch that back on My Indy TV. And it's a weekend off for Indy. It's a 10-day gap with the Tampa Bay Rowdies coming to town. Indy played them in the season opener to a 1-1 draw, with Aiden Quinn converting on what has turned into 5 different spot kicks this season to level that match. And we'll talk more about this at halftime, but want to make sure we wish congratulations to Neil Collins, the soon-to-be outgoing head coach of the Rowdies. He is going to take over at Barnsley, League One in England. And that is an opportunity that is frankly rare. Now again, Neil is from the UK, played overseas before finishing his career with Tampa Bay, but still, that's some heady stuff, and a guy that I think is up to the challenge. So best of luck, Coach Collins, going forward at Barnsley.
He's been fantastic. You know, navigated a rough start this year. You know, not only with the loss of Fernandez and Guenzati, you know, but had a tough little bit of a losing streak at the very beginning of this year. And when you lose 2 powerhouses like Fernandez and Guenzati, there can be a lot of doubt on that club. He kept that locker room together, and they've been on a tear.
Second longest tenured coach in the USL Championship. I'll put you on the spot. Who has been in his job longer than Neil Collins has at this point?
Robert? Lily?
Keep going. There you go. Check out the big brain on Brad.
Oh, this is another walk-off moment for me. I will see you next week, Ray.
Guenzati could not get there. So as Brad exits stage right, let me tell you, you can listen to Soccer Saturday. Maybe I'll get Neil Collins on the show. Probably not, but we'll try. Next week on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Actually, Lori Lindsay will be on the show talking about the Women's World Cup, the Indiana Soccer Hall of Famer from Pike High School. Maybe you see her on Apple TV's coverage of Major League Soccer. But we'll also talk about the women's team here in Indy that is making their way to the league semifinals for the first time in the W League, beating last year's runner-up in Minnesota Aurora 1-0 this afternoon. Congratulations to Paul Delinsky and team. And they will host the USL W League semifinals Friday night at Grand Park. For more information, Indy11.com. For ticket questions, 317-685-1100.
Good opportunity. Be quick in transition.
Quinn. Keep that at his feet. That was Blaine Ferry that took that away. Lots of possession for the Indy 11. To make that kind of last and final decisive pass. Try to level this match. Blake, Martinez, Robledo, Guenzati tried to let it roll through. Just too many bodies to play through at this point. Lindley has a hit.
Oh,
I do think that was more of a shot. It turned into a delivery that Martinez never get a hit on. Of course, Lindley had a SportsCenter top 10 level goal 2 weeks ago in the 2-0 victory against Hartford, and Cam goes to ground for a moment.
Yeah, grabbed his hammy right away. I think it had a little bit of a tail on it too. I think if it didn't have that little tail and drift, I think it would have been a little bit of an easier ball for Martinez.
Of course, this match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Cam Lindley, one of 4 players that has started every match for the Indy 11 this year. He's joined by Sebastian Guenzati, Aiden Quinn, and the keeper and Yannick Ertl amongst that group. Business picks up for the Indy 11. They're trailing in this one. But their next 4 teams they play, a who's who in the Eastern Conference. Pressure forced by Guenzati. Martinez plays it off the Tulsa defender. Throw-in coming for Indy. It's like reading the Eastern Conference standings, the upcoming 4 matches. Charleston, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh, Lou City, and King, with very much the tactical takedown, knowing he committed the turnover. He gives the yellow. So Macca King now sitting on a yellow for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and tough. I think you had Mishak and Dispay covering Goodrum, and if Macca felt he could stay up with play and chase from behind, I don't think they had to adjust their defensive integrity. They could stay in the 2-on-1 defensively.
That was Dyer, the goal scorer, that was taken to the ground, as Macca left no doubt about the professional nature of that foul. Rucci will restart. Goodrum the target. Dispay got in the way.
Well played.
Of course, this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Martinez, foul given, card given. Frankly, I think that's a bit of a break for the Indy 11. Not that that wasn't a foul, but it seemed like the channels were starting to be covered there for the Indy 11. That play had kind of reached its end of its natural progression. And the foul allows Indy to throw some numbers forward here. Milo Yosef wasn't happy about the way that was adjudicated. Our match referee tonight in Benjamin Meyer. Milo is the 2nd player that we've talked about in the last few weeks that played for a team that was the national champs a couple of years ago at Marshall University. It wasn't Yosef that picked up the foul, however. It was Yosef who was arguing said foul.
The pace that Yosef recovered on. Shoot.
That was Tommy McCabe that picked up the whistle. Tommy, formerly of Trevor James in Detroit City. Well, Milo's got pace because he's got long strides. He's 6'3". Ball sent in. King redirects it. Dispay heads it down. Cleared out of the 18 by Tulsa. Lindley to Quinn.
Incredible.
Now Blake. Martinez. Blake. Again, it's what we saw in the year. Tremendous buildup.
Right.
Just kind of lacking that last touch. Foul called not on that contact, but the previous contact against Goodrum for FC Tulsa. You'll see these great technical bits of skill that aren't leading to dangerous moments in front of the 6 for the Indy 11. And once again, we'll have to go backwards to reset for just a moment. Let's thank our friends at McGowan Insurance, a proud partner of the Indy 11. Visit McGowan, INSGRP.com for all your insurance needs. Blake couldn't make the turn. Blake gave it a go.
Yeah, you got Martinez on the right.
Rucci got in the way. But the last 25 minutes have looked awfully similar. Indy racking up a possession, but not really racking up the threatening moments on frame just yet. Quinn has dropped all the way back to the back line, trying to marshal this for the Indy 11. For Aiden Quinn, this is his 240th appearance in USL Championship play. He's an assist away from becoming the first 50-50 man in league history. He topped the 50-goal plateau with his brace last week. He's sitting on 49 assists. He is racing one other player in the league for that honor, who's his teammate, Solomon Asante, who has 51 goals and 48 assists in regular season matches only in the USL Championship.
You look at the firepower. Guenzotti's in the 60s as far as goals in the league.
Right.
Where's Pino? What's he at career-wise?
Pino, a lot of his goals came in the NASL. So a lot of his big years came in Fort Lauderdale and Minnesota.
Correct. Yeah.
So his USL numbers are not as high. Stefano had 13 last year for the Indy 11, second most in an Indy 11 regular season. And he is available for selection off the bench in tonight's matchup. After playing in his native Brazil for the first time in over a decade, here at the beginning of the calendar year, elected to come back to what he feels is his second home here in Indianapolis. Final minutes of half number one are brought to us by Sherwin-Williams. Bring color to life with Sherwin-Williams. Indy 11 trying to bring this crowd to life with a home goal before getting to the break. He's Pay. Bit of a momentary bobble. Waiting for the turf bounce to play out. Right now, Tulsa content to keep 7 and 8 behind the ball here. Just kind of gum up the works for the Indy 11.
And these balls, you know, when you knock it back to the back line and you keep possession, that's a win in keeping possession, but it's also a win for Tulsa. It allows them to get their shape. It allows them to get 10 back behind the ball.
Towards the Indy 11 bench, Gabe Zapponi, Ioze, and Andy Swift. The support staff behind head coach Mark Lowry. We'll talk to Mark coming up at the end of halftime. We did not have a chance to do that last week because we were all kind of pressed for time. We were playing beat the clock last week in terms of the incoming storms, and cannot thank Andy and Morgan and Shelby and everybody else behind the scenes. People we never mentioned their names on the Indy 11 broadcast, but the support staff, the game day operations crew, they had to go through all kind of hoops last week to make sure our match got in on time and complete, and all those things happened.
What a call. 35 minutes, moving the game up 35 minutes, and it was the exact, we all got out of the building just in time.
Here's Josef using that rangy and lengthy speed. And then he is fouled by Aiden Quinn. Josef, 2 goals and 2 assists this year. Native of Germany, he'll turn 25 in September. But part of that international contingent that has made soccer cool in Huntington, West Virginia.
Yep.
And the other player we referenced is a guy that may end up leading the league in clean sheets this year, Oliver Zemla, who has taken over as the keeper at Lou City. He is on a record-setting pace in terms of not allowing a goal for the team just down the road on I-65.
A couple teams you'd want to be a goalkeeper for. One of them is Lou City.
Right.
The other one is the Riverhounds. You know, as stingy as they are defensively, man, you could have an unbelievable career there, and you're going to walk away from games with 2 saves, 3 saves.
Think of the books you can read while you're actually playing. Forget books on tape. You can just hold it.
Oh, my goodness.
Shot's not coming your way.
So stingy. So stingy.
You would think a minimum amount of stoppage time, even with the goal. Only really had one player kind of go down with any sort of injury. A minute, maybe 2, I think, is likely at the end of the half. And we were worried about weather tonight. Looks like that is no longer a concern. Now the worry for the Indy 11 is finding a goal. Again, the hope is to get 3 points tonight. Right now they're in a no points paying position, are the Indy 11. Quinn.
Good ball.
Finds Boudadi. Boudadi looking back post. One touch. Doesn't get through. Blake's second volley from the seat of his pants. Up and over the ball.
Real. I think that's 2 defenders and a post that have kept that ball out of the net in the first half for Indy 11.
Blake, the native of Nottingham, England. First came to the States to play for Minnesota United back in their NASL days in 2016. We'll take a second look, and this is often where Indy is most dangerous, when Boudadi gets to the byline, and that was Teta that got in the way of Nelson, who never had to make a play on it.
Hey, and you know, tip of the hat to that incredible ball from Aiden Quinn. He's got a defender draped all over him, another one coming to close him down. Does a little half step and then just lifts that ball in between the two for Boudadi.
Ishak Jerome launches, as expected, a single solitary minute of added time before we get to halftime. Malou able to keep that ball away from Guenzati. Martinez did just a bit too much as Milo Yosef goes to the turf. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Hear live matches from the USL Championship, Major League Soccer, the Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Mark Lowry, what is your message to your team at halftime?
There's 2 things. You got to be more focused on that last ball, that final ball in the attacking third, and then you got to play quicker. You know, Tulsa's doing a great job of, whenever there is a pass back, dropping players in behind and making it even more difficult, and the channels and the space less attractive and visible for Indy.
A little glance at the wristwatch along with the referee. If the ball's not going forward, that might be it for the half. And Goodrum doing his best to try to close the half down from the FC Tulsa perspective. Lindley has to be quick. He is on the charge forward. Robledo. Blake slides it in. Guenzati got a touch. Guenzati asking for a foul, will not get it. Indy will be allowed, however, to have the corner. This corner brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham.
Yeah, the opportunities again keep coming from that ball being sprayed wide.
I believe the key said width, width, width.
3 times. Said it 3 times.
Must make it really important. Then.
Well, it's really important, but I also heard that it takes sometimes the mind to hear something 3 times before it's remembered. So I put that in there 3 times so you wouldn't forget it.
Quinn. Martinez goes down, and that's it. So last week, Indy, the benefactor of 2 penalties called against San Diego Loyal. Could not get one towards the end of the half, and now we'll have to have some players separated, as Martinez was not happy about the lack of a penalty drawn late. Guenzati not happy about the lack of a penalty drawn before that. As tensions fire here at the end of the half, one that frankly has not been a very chippy nor physical affair. But it got that way here late. Martinez did get some contact there, but not enough in it. As our match referee. Martinez wasn't happy about that pat on the back that time. At the end of the half, Dees Pay getting involved in there.
Yeah, that's key. You got to be careful, man. You put a hand on somebody, especially around the head. That's a bad move.
So we'll see how that changes the way this match is played in half number 2. But so far, a mistake by the Indy 11 at the back, pounced on by FC Tulsa. Visitors looking for a 3rd win in 4 tries in this building since 2021. The visitors from Northeast Oklahoma have a 1-goal lead. Stay tuned. Halftime comes your way next on RTV6, the Indy 11 television network, and ESPN+.
con el 1, 2, 3. Que tú a ver con el 1, 2, 3. Tienes que ver actitud. 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 Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo. Cuando tú lo escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me.
And the winner of the Indianapolis 500.
Indiana, winning is in our DNA. And we're winning the future with $22 billion in new business investment, building an economy of the future with unprecedented momentum. Indiana, for the winners.
A good time for the Brickyard Battalion to have a seat, enjoy a tasty beverage. Same for you. Halftime between Indy 11 and FC Tulsa. Back to the match action in a matter of moments, but first, our look around the USL Championship. And congratulations to Neil Collins. The Tampa Bay Rowdies will be here in 2 weeks. When they come here, Brad, they'll have a new head coach. As Neil is going back to the UK, he's going to be the head coach at Barnsley, now in League One. A couple of years ago, Brad, they were in the playoffs in the championship and just missed going to the Premier League.
Yeah, this is great news for them. Great for him. Great for the league. Bad for Tampa.
In future news, you don't want us talking about your winning streak in our news and notes segment. Last week, we sang the praises of El Paso and Memphis. Memphis has been beaten 10-0 in their last 2 matches since that time. And quickly, best of luck to those representing the USL Championship in the CONCACAF Gold Cup in Cincinnati tomorrow night. The Reggae Boys will see Kevon Lambert of Phoenix Rising. Jamali White, the goalkeeper for the Riverhounds, is the backup keeper for Jamaica. Best of luck to them. Of course, USA and Canada will follow that match just down I-74. As the Gold Cup is getting ready to wrap, the Women's World Cup will get underway, and you can be a part of the fun with the Bracket Challenge, the Women's World Soccer Bracket Challenge presented by the USL Super League. It launches on Monday. Go to uslsuperleague.com/bracket to learn more. Our superstar ladies won the conference championship today. They will host the W League semifinals on Friday night at Grand Park. We'll talk more about that throughout the course of the broadcast. Back after this on RTV6 and ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Slide this in behind. Now it comes for Valesky. Tries to leave it there for Gleedle. Sam Gleedle. It's a tap in for Christian Valesky. And Monterey Bay are absolutely flying tonight. Bomasoso. Right through the middle. Johnny Rodriguez. Rodriguez scores! Something out of nothing for the Oakland Roots.
I'm discovering all the color in the world. I'm uncovering.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Halftime, FC Tulsa with a one-goal lead over the Indy 11 with 45 minutes of soccer left to go. The Batman and Robin of the operation. You can be Batman, that's fine. Greg Rakestraw
Thank you.
and Brad Hunter with you. And thanks to all of you joining us on RTV6, our debut on Channel 6. We're back for a match here in 2 weeks against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Now, again, we continue our halftime look around the USL Championship. 3 teams currently atop the table in the East, and Indy plays all of them this month. Now, 2 of those matches are here. The next 2 are against Charleston and Tampa. Pittsburgh will host Indy at Highmark on July 26th. Lou City, Indy goes there. We have a road telecast from Lynn Family Stadium coming up on July 29th. But after seemingly brought a lot of matches against Western Conference foes, now it's kind of back into the heart of the Eastern Conference for Indy.
Right, and you talk about the strength of the lineup coming up, but this one tonight is so critically important because it puts Tulsa back in the picture.
Big matchup, 2 of the best teams in the league, Pittsburgh, Sacramento, in very Riverhound fashion. 0-0 at halftime at Highmark. We mentioned this earlier. Memphis got crushed by San Antonio last night. Miami and Phoenix Rising playing to a 1-1 draw at halftime, and San Diego making a 3rd consecutive cross-country trip. They have a 1-goal lead at Hartford. That match is at halftime as well. Other matches coming up. Lou City will be hosting Loudon. That match is about to kick off. RGV in Orange County. And let's go ahead and go forward to next Saturday, because that's the next time you can catch the USL Championship on ESPN2. Simply put, 2 Northern California teams that both got wins when they were here in this building earlier this year. Monterey Bay, our buddy Neville Hackshaw, now the Oakland Roots. Catch it next Saturday, July 15th at 10 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. Stay tuned. More halftime show, highlights, stats, and a conversation with the head coach of the Indy 11, Mark Lowry, all come your way next. You look at the Brickyard Battalion, as always, bigger than Belson. OGs will get it. Back in a moment as you're watching Indy 11 Soccer on RTV6 and ESPN+.
When your cat's a me, then your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or 2.
You tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work. It can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they're not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me.
Tonight's match is presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. And by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care, simply delivered. What has turned into a gorgeous night here has not been a beautiful night so far for the Indy 11. That is always subject to change. They can find one goal, potentially two. We'll hear from Mark Lowry coming up in a matter of moments. What changes, Brad, do you think we see in the second half?
Well, I think you're going to see Asante at some point. He changed the game last week. Finding him in isolation out on the right created those two penalty kicks. And I think you're going to see him the 60th minute, maybe.
You've got Solomon Asante. You've got Stefano Pino that could factor into that mix for the Indy 11 as well. We are now joined by the head coach and Mark Lowry. Mark, what was your message to your guys at halftime?
Destroyed them for the first 2 minutes, but then we were fantastic after that. And the good news is we look like scoring. We're playing some great stuff. Just got to keep believing it'll come. But, you know, once again, another silly goal.
What's it like having guys like Asante and even Pino that you can insert into this match to change it late?
It feels good to know we've got them in the locker. Pino's probably got 20-30 minutes in him. He hasn't played for a couple of months. But we've got some good options there.
Sounds good, my friend. Good luck in the second half. Mark Lowry coming to join us. He'll join us in longer form coming up in half number 2. We can talk about different cards you're dealing off the deck from a tactics standpoint. What must this team do differently / better in the second 45?
Well, I'm always hesitant to change tactics with fluky goals. Here's a ball that was mishit that winds up right at the feet of a Tulsa player in the box, and to his credit, he does a great job to finish it. Is it a tactic thing? No, it's not a tactic. wouldn't make a change on that. You take a look also at the attacking opportunities. You've been in and around the box. You just have missed on that final pass. You're creating it. Do you need to change your tactics? No.
Indy looking for a first home victory in a little more than 2 months. A little less than 2 months, I should say. May 20th against the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs. Tulsa looking for a second road win of the season. That road victory came on May the 24th. We appreciate you being with us. And immediately a foul was given to Jack Blake as he got tied up with Philip Goodrum. And so possession was about 3 seconds for the Indy 11. And now FC Tulsa will take it back over. And we didn't see much of this until the very end of the half. Business kind of picks right back up where it left off. Between two teams, again, that were divisional rivals in that pandemic-affected season of 2021. When you played 28 of 32 games against 7 common opponents.
And you can see one thing that's changed is the energy in the press from Indy 11. That last 15, 20 minutes, while they set the traps and they had the ball where they wanted, they just didn't have the legs to be able to close it down like they wanted to. And you're seeing that energy back after that 15-minute break.
By the way, no substitutions for either side at halftime. Again, from a weather standpoint, for early July, it is wonderful out here. And with the sun largely behind clouds and starting to set, the turf temperature is not anything of the extreme at the current moment. Quinn cuts it back. Guenzati could not get there. There was no foul there. He simply kind of read the play wrong. Opening moments of this second half brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealer. Central Indiana, proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Goodrum knocked over by Deespay. Deespay will be shown a card.
Yeah, here's the tough part now for Deespay. He's been playing Goodrum physical. He's been meeting him with every touch, making every ball that Philip Goodrum has at his feet something he has to fight for physically. And now he's got to release a little bit of that pressure now that he's carrying a card.
So Deespay and King have been booked. One player to watch in case he gets shown a card as well. And Brad, you were so outstanding on USL Championship Coach Trivia. I'll now make it even more local. If I asked you who is the player that has been shown yellow the most this year for the Indy 11, Brad, who would it be?
It's got to be Deespay, right?
It is not Adrian Deespay. It is Cam Lindley, because Cam is one away from having to sit for a match for yellow card accumulation. Cam has been shown yellow on 7 different occasions this year. Once you get to 8, you're parked for a match. That is also something to watch, especially knowing you have a very quick turnaround from tonight to Wednesday night against the Charleston Battery. Martinez at full stride. Could not get there in time. Yosef.
And that is one of the benefits of having a guy with Martinez's pace. You know, hey, in situations, I can just knock it into that corner and see if he can go get it.
Robledo zigzagging his way through traffic. Blake. Martinez. Martinez on the ground, and the keeper had it, but Teta didn't take the chance, and you can't blame him. Solidly ensured that would be a corner kick. Brought to us by our friends at Wilson, Kehoe, Winningham.
Yeah, that's a great serve because it's put right on the edge of where the keeper says, hey, I can get it. And a defender has to make that decision. Do I leave it for my keeper? Do I check my shoulder? Guenzati's right there. He's making a run. The guy scored 60 goals. I better clear this ball.
Blake making sure that the Tulsa defender is 10 yards clear. Lindley ricochets it off, said defender in Ferry. Great job by Blaine. And I mean this in the nicest way possible, to be a complete and total pest. Well done. He completely blocked up that opportunity for the Indy 11.
100%. His effort and the way he played that, he turned an Indy 11 corner kick into a throw-in.
Tonight's match brought to us by Sports Tech HQ. Indiana winning is in our DNA. More information, visit forthewinners.com. Dangerous moment here. Deespay handled it with relative ease. Anytime you see Goodrum with that level of space, you start to get a little concerned from the Indy perspective.
The thing is, too, he's crafty in how he presses. He comes, it's deceptive, he doesn't look like he's coming, and then all of a sudden he clicks in.
I think it was the Beastie Boys who said he was crafty and he was just Tulsa's type.
I will take your word on that.
Well, that is of your generation.
Yeah, but I'm not a Beastie Boys guy. There's a lot of things in my generation, Rake. I'm not connected with all of it.
We have gotten 10 years in, and I am just now learning this.
Yeah.
We're going to have some words after the match. Quinn on the give and go.
Hit it.
Guenzati digging through. There may be an entire segment of the postgame show dedicated to a Beastie Boys chat.
Oh, jeez.
You should be lucky that that's the case.
I might not be here for that.
Martinez, and again, just couldn't get by the defender again. Here's Goodrum. 2v3. And Deespay, that was risky. He got the ball first. Again, he just picked up a yellow. But timed it well. Martinez, as Yosef does just enough.
Did you feel it too? Everybody in the building just kind of held their breath there for a second.
It's kind of been one of those years where if something could go wrong, it has for the Indy 11. knowing they have had to play a couple of different home matches with a player down. They were in danger of doing that yet again. And amazingly, in both matches, they've been a player down. They pulled a point from both of those matches. Let's take a look. Pay. Ball first. Quickly back to action. Budati was charging forward, but nothing comes of it.
Yeah, and that's the one. You've got Robledo on your shoulder. He's so great at isolations against an edge back. Just play it out wide to him.
Flags down. Ertl, no problem. The sweeper keeper was up to make the play.
Yes.
Good read. Wenzati just couldn't get there. Blake was asking for Wenzati being held, but again, it's frankly going to be something that's a little more malicious than that, given the real estate in which Wenzati was occupying. I'm not trying to encourage somebody to take a dive, but you kind of have to get the whistle in that situation. Here's the goal scorer in Dyer. Finds Goodrum. Goodrum a touch, but Jerome does a great job of not overrunning the play. Just staying in front of it. Advantage. They're going to give the advantage here. That's the reason why there's no whistle. There was a foul there, and now that it's kind of a flat ball that was played, here comes the whistle. The match referee tonight is Benjamin Meyer. John Krill, Eric Burton, our assistant referees, and Noah Matos is our fourth official.
That was a good non-call. Good, let it play, see how it develops. It looked for just a moment that Indy had some opportunities with Tulsa a little bit out of shape to work something in transition. And then once that ball was played flat and back, it's like, okay, that has exhausted itself. Let's go ahead and go back and make that call.
It is a beautiful night. Your night can always be made better by Little Mom Water. Refreshing fruit-infused vodka water with zero carbonation, zero sugar, zero carbs, only 90 calories. Mom Water is the perfect game day drink. Found in Indiana, and now a proud sponsor of the Indy 11. Please drink and enjoy responsibly. And we can confirm that the Dad Water truck is also here tonight.
In the building.
The entire family now represented. Cam Lindley. Quinn. Budati. Service deflected. Blake may have a hit from distance. Does a second time through, and again, just not enough traffic for that to really give Nelson any problem whatsoever.
Yeah, it's tough at that distance with 6 Tulsa players in front and a goalkeeper. You're just hoping it nicks off somebody. You got Martinez over your right shoulder here in a 1v1 isolated. Freeze the defenders into the middle, punch it out wide.
Pressure applied by Indy. Well done to build out of it by FC Tulsa. McCabe charging forward. Can Goodrum get there? Pay does just enough. It will be a corner. Corner brought to us by Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Blair Gavin applauding. First-year head coach. Blair's not that removed from his playing days. Blair worked with the staff of Columbus Crew the last couple of years. One thing you notice, there's a lot of guys that have MLS Next Pro experience. In other words, guys that he would have seen play last year, they're now playing for this FC Tulsa squad. Short corners have been the thing in both directions tonight. But a foul whistled as Blake goes to the turf.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of a short corner when there's only one defender that comes out. You got 2 high-level players in a 2v1 with that much space. I'll take it every time.
Goodrum, the player that is getting a talking to. The native of Nashville and the mid-May acquisition. Rodrigo da Costa heading towards Memphis. Goodrum coming here. These two teams will see each other again on October the 7th. The penultimate week of the season for the Indy 11. Final home game for FC Tulsa. Indy will finish on the road twice. We'll go to Tulsa and to San Antonio in October. Last home match for the Indy 11, September 30th against Detroit City. Budati flying forward. Gwenzati elects to play it Back to Lindley and through the midfield to Jack Blake. Now Robledo. And I would think Indy is getting 5-ish minutes away from Solomon Asante. You heard Mark say at halftime Stefano Pino maybe has 25 minutes in him. But there is help available on the bench for the Indy 11. Possession has looked good. The attack has been intermittent tonight for the Indy 11. Indy 11 fans, you can gather your group of 10 or more for a unique way to experience game day, including the new beer garden at Carroll Stadium. Groups receive exclusive on-field opportunities, in-stadium recognitions, up to 35% off regular ticket pricing. To learn more and book your group, visit indy11.com/tickets. Call 317-685-1100 on the cross, and nothing comes of it. It will be a goal kick for FC Tulsa.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit of a mindset of wanting to make something happen. You know, you've looked at all these different breakdowns in here, and it's either a shot or a serve early when you've had an open guy that's been available to you. So right underneath that play was Cam Lindley. Had an opportunity to bring it back to one of the most creative players in the league and keep that play alive.
Budati. And we saw him play right back most of the season. With no Robbie Dambrot, tonight he is playing on the left. Is how Eunice plays any different on the left side than what we'd see on the right?
Well, I think he's more comfortable with the serve. I think if that's on the right side and he gets that ball, he's probably hitting that thing first time.
Martinez plays it across and kind of in between both Lindley and Guenzati. It will be a throw and not a corner.
It's just that final ball, Ray. It's just that final ball.
Mark Lowry likes what he sees from his team. Just they have not had that finishing touch. He has been chasing this game for the last 50 minutes. Moses Dyer, the goal in minute number 6. After a miscue at the back. Robledo trying to create some space for himself. Couldn't get that second touch on it. Quinn could not maintain possession, but pokes it away. And good recovery by Macaulay King. Quinn again trying to find Martina. Good hustle by Blake. And that'll be a foul against Aiden Quinn. We'll do see a couple of subs starting to get the gear on, and not surprisingly for Tulsa, Marcus Epps is one of them. Marcus tied for their team high in goals with 4, a couple of assists as well. He's having a conversation with Donovan Ricketts off to the left of our broadcast position as we speak. He still has all their players loosening. No one has kind of made their way back to the bench as we're about to hit the 60-minute mark. Adam Armour is the other player that is likely to enter the fray momentarily for FC Tulsa. And Shaq Jerome quickly on to knock that ball away from Eric Bird.
Yeah, these are those moments for Tulsa where they need to keep their defensive shape and really evaluate in transition, and those moments when they win the ball. How much do we want to send bodies forward? How much do we want to expose certain areas of the field?
The triumvirate of Matt Watson, Blair Gavin, and Richie Ryan. Saw on your screen momentarily. Or as we would call them in 2020, a midfield. Blair had finished playing by that point in time. Another two were still kind of going at it. Yannick Erdl will restart from outside of his 18. From the Indy 11 perspective, this match needs a spark. And who better provide it than Stefano Pino, who is getting the kit on as we speak for the Indy 11. He has been quite the finisher at so many stops along the way. Fort Lauderdale, Miami FC. He had 21 goals for Miami FC in the final NASL season in 2017.
What a storybook return to Indy this would be.
Robbie Dambrot also will come on as well. Dyer the target. D's pay, well done. Dambrot, and again, I know that Mark was trying to hold him back for Wednesday night. But again, he is a back that likes to get forward. He's an extra body into the mix. Good things tend to happen when Dambrot is involved. So he'll give about 25 minutes or so in tonight's match as well. I expect to see more out of him come Wednesday night. Quinn. Robledo. You would think Robledo is probably playing his last, with Pino set to go to the fourth official. So to our graphics department as Blake is fouled. Our friends at Jeep Lube of Indiana going to get a lot of airtime coming up as they provide all of our substitutions for us. Here's Robledo. Looking for Martinez. And Yosef did not take the chance. Another corner coming, presented by our friends at Wilson Kehoe Winningham. Solomon Asante is also making his way to the Indy 11 bench. It may be Ali and free as far as substitutions are concerned.
No idea what that means.
Have a full-on line change coming up for each of these two teams.
Which I think this is good. I mean, you look at this corner kick. If you're able to convert this corner kick, and then you've got all three of these fresh legs coming in, you've got the opportunity to chase those 3 points pretty good.
Lindley will send it in. Lindley on the service. Sliding effort, D's pay. Keeps it in play. Martinez! Just could not get the head to it. Lindley couldn't collect it, but the attack continues on. The ball that Dees pays into Martinez was fantastic, because Martinez couldn't get it lined up. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. Goodrum couldn't keep it at his feet, but able to collect his balance, and now a chance to breathe for FC Tulsa. We felt this was a match that had multiple goals in it. Frankly, Tulsa is playing like a team that is trying to defend it and keep this a 1-0 scenario.
Well, you look at a lot of their offense, unless they look at a situation as being, you know, needing more bodies. It's a ball up to Goodrum, a ball up to Dyer.
When Zadi had hoped to find Martinez, just couldn't find that window to attack.
Well, and shows the official, I got the ball. Yeah, you got the ball because you fouled the guy.
Perhaps as an official, I would offer a trade. You hand me the ball and I will show you a yellow. It seems like a fair trade, right?
That's very fair.
And that would probably end that practice. So again, our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Goal scorer Moses Dyer will exit for Marcus Epps. We didn't talk about Blaine Ferry much. When we did, we were impressed. Again, just all kind of heart and guts, just hard work plays that Blaine made, the 22-year-old from Southlake, Texas, formerly of the North Texas Rayados and MLS Next Pro. Those are the two Tulsa substitutions. The trio of Indy 11 players still talking things over with Gabe Zapponi, Mark Lowry, and Ioze. And I'm not sure for those three guys how much instruction is needed. They tend to kind of figure these things out. And again, Pino here last year played a great deal with Asante and Dambrot. Stefano's been in training for the Indy 11 for the last 2 weeks. It is not going to take him long to get up to speed. From a mental standpoint, he's there. From the physical standpoint, might take a little bit. Blake sends it in. Martinez and D's pay, and what kind of lands between the two of them. Macca King will reset. Budati, when Zadi couldn't fight through traffic to get there. Budati, Lindley, left foot doesn't get through. Finds an escape patch to Robledo. And Martinez was not making the run.
I love the thought. I love the thought. The edge defender jumped out to cover Martinez, opened up the space. Robledo saw it, put a nice ball into that pocket.
Restart coming here. Tonight's match brought to us by the Hyatt Place and Hyatt House, downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. And Lindley crumples at the end of that play, and I think that was inadvertent head-to-head contact. Josh Frank about to check on Cam. You see Cam trying to check the back of his head to make sure he's all right. But that was the reason for the immediate stoppage. And Lindley has been pretty close to an Iron Man this year for the Indy 11. Started all 16 matches in his second stint with the boys in blue. He has played all but a possible 90 minutes on the season.
There's a little flick, so he's flicking his head back as the defender's coming in.
Yeah.
And you look at the head-to-head contact, and you look at the seriousness in which it's taken right now. Remember, we were growing up.
Oh, yeah.
Hold up 2 fingers, and if you're able to get close, they put you back in the game.
We have seen the, I don't think it was this year, I think it was even last year, where the Indy 11 got an extra substitution because of the concussion legislation. Lindley was coming out anyway, so he's done for the night. Stefano Pino will come in to replace him. As expected, Robledo done for the night. Asante replaces him. Yunus Boudadi will exit as Robbie Dambrot takes care of his minutes for the rest of the evening. And all of our substitutions brought to us by Jiffy Lube of Indiana. Our cameras are focusing on Solomon Asante, and Mark Lowry on Soccer Saturday earlier today said, you know, Solomon is a guy that is capable of starting for us. He goes, but I think if I basically use him for the last 30 minutes of every match, I think the advantage he has with his speed at that point of the match is perhaps the best way to use him. So expect this is going to be a role that you'll see Asante in for the remainder of the season. Now, short turnaround Wednesday, maybe he starts on Wednesday night, but when you get these matches that are once a week, expect to see Solo the last 30 or so minutes of every match.
He changes the game too. You know, 60, 70 minutes into the match, everybody's got a little bit of fatigue in their legs. The game is settled into a certain rhythm, and then he comes in and does what Solo does.
Pino, a target. After so many stops of playing in the United States, a couple of years in other locations overseas as well. Had a chance to go home back to Brazil to play what would be kind of the second half of the world calendar season. And as soon as that run was over, he said, I want to go back to Indianapolis. And Indy was happy to have him back. And 13 goals last year. That's the second most in the Indy 11 season. Only Eamon Zayed's 15 in 2016. More than what Pino had a year ago. Bird's clearance doesn't get that far down the pitch. Ball finds Guenzati, but he and Asante not on the same page.
Yeah, well, that's the first time that Guenzati hasn't had a defender draped on his back, and that was the one that he probably could have looked to collect and bring down.
Milo Yosef being given space. Dambrot back in his usual left back position. And here's Armour. First touch for him. Same for Epps. Epps couldn't get past Jack Blake, and then Blake cleared out. Fernandez got there cleanly.
What a tackle. My goodness.
And the distribution not square from FC Tulsa. But it's a mistake 75 yards from your own goal. You can live with those mistakes if you're the visitors, nursing a 1-goal lead. Here's Guenzati. Guenzati could not get around a defender, but there's Dambrot. That's what Dambrot does. Charging forward. Has Martinez back post. Tried to cross it. Couldn't get it done. But those are the moments that you come to expect from Robbie Dambrot on the pitch for the Indy 11. All of a sudden, he's going forward, and he's got a shot. Back heel. Asante. Asante left foot.
You feel it. You feel it. If you're Indy, you feel it. If you're Tulsa, you feel it as well.
Quinn. Guenzati got ahead to it, but Nelson will quickly track it down. The Sports This Match brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction, management, and investments. Goodrum has Dees Pay to work around. Dees Pay. Goodrum goes down, and the official says, nope, nothing there. And Dees Pay on a yellow. Blake. Great job to work it past 2 defenders. Asante on fresh legs. Martinez slices in, and Asante could not get it past a defender.
Yeah, the tough part is Solo needed one more touch to try and draw a defender to him, but Martinez was off and running, and if he would have taken one more touch, Martinez would have been in an offside position.
Velasquez about to enter for the Indy 11. Also getting another substitute towards the fourth official as well. Velasquez, a player we've not seen much of because of injury after he made his Indy 11 debut a few weeks back. Armour stood up by King at the edge of the 18. And Mack is playing on a yellow. He's got to be careful. Good work by Macca, though. Holds his ground and draws the foul. Well done by Macca King.
Great defending.
A man that spent his youth days playing in the Leicester system before then going to Young Harris College in upstate Georgia. Those produced players like Ilya Illich, who's still playing in League One. Not to mention Paco Craig, now of Miami FC. This match brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Wenzadia controlling touch, but not in the part of the field you hope that's the case. Nate Worth, by the way, is the player for FC Tulsa. That's going to be their third substitute of the night. Pino. The deft touch, as usual, for Stefano. Molina will be the fifth and final substitution for the Indy 11. Ian Velasquez will head to the fourth official simultaneously. Blake's shot from distance sent the keeper sprawling, but never was on frame.
Martinez, Pino, Guenzati, Solo, Molina, Velasquez. Boy, you've got creativity on the field.
So no appearance tonight for Diego Sanchez nor Tim Trill. Tim has yet to appear in a match this season. All of our substitutions brought to us by Cheap Blue of Indiana. The Tulsa substitution, Worth, who is just 16 years of age. He will come in to replace Colin Fernandez. Worth had spent time with Red Bulls too. And for the Indy 11, Meshack Jerome is done for the night. So too is Jack Blake. So Indy will go one less to back as Molina comes in to play more of a midfield role. Velasquez also will kind of take Blake's role in the midfield. And so basically Indy will play Molina as a left back. They'll bump Dambrot inside. Macca playing as a right back. Dees Payes always plays a center back. So it's four at the back, but it's really almost kind of like 2.5 for the Indy 11 perspective. Guenzati gives chase. Malou takes no chances. Joseph is there waiting on him. Tulsa still has one substitution window and two substitutes that they can use. Indy, and barring something of an injury, is done for the night. Guenzati goes to the ground. Draws whistle.
Good spot.
All right, Brad, what is your secret stuff? What's the inside knowledge here as far as what the Indy 11 can do to get back in this match? Again, the hope was to get 3 points. Right now you'd settle for 1. What do you do to get that first goal?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a great opportunity here. You got Dees Payes going up. You've got Quinn, who's great at serving the ball. Not only is Martinez good in the air, but we saw it last year. Pino's terrific.
Quinn. Step by the Tulsa defender. And Dambrot will elect to play it for safety, which draws the applause of the FC Tulsa bench. Looking for a 4th win of the season as FC Tulsa. Looking for just a 2nd road win of the campaign. Pino the target. Racing through on the ball from Aiden Quinn. Velasquez. Played 1 match in Memphis before joining the Indy 11 this season. Dambrot has a hit, doesn't get through. Justin Malou gets in the way. Goodrum hustling over. Molina beats him to it.
Great quick ball movement.
You have 5 players on virtually fresh legs on the pitch right now for the Indy 11. Velasquez forced off the ball. Well done by Bird, but equally good job by King to win it right back from Epps. Quinn races over to track that down. First chance for King and Pino to play together. Molina all the way across, and Martinez could not get there. A wasted opportunity for the Indy 11.
Yeah, I tell you, I like especially on the fresh legs. I like Molina there taking him off the dribble and seeing if he can create something to get a better serve.
And he's had a few goose eggs on the board at home so far this year. Las Vegas Lights, Oakland Roots, Lou City. Amongst those times where Indy 11 has failed to dent the scoreboard in front of their home fans. And now Michael Nelson will need to be prompted to restart this one. Tulsa has defended this 1-goal lead now for the 70-plus minutes. Asante goes to ground. Nothing comes from it. Martinez hustling back to get that ball away from Armour. That ball hit Armour last. Goal kick coming. Tonight's match brought to us by the Denny Companies. The Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. Indy back at home in just 4 days. Take on the Charleston Battery, a team they beat 4-0 back on June 2nd. That was the match where there was a red card and penalty handed out 20 seconds into the match. Quinn and Martinez on the same page.
Yeah, that's the third one. That's the third one. They've done a great job of pulling Martinez wide, creating that gap between the edge defender and the center back. They just have not got the timing and the connection down on that ball played in behind and into that gap.
Brickyard Battalion, friendly, offering a clock, a countdown for Michael Nelson. This is a friendly reminder as to how much time you're supposed to have before you hit the reset button. It is a jovial group in the BYB. And a few members made the trip to Flint today to check out the Indy 11 women in the USL W League quarterfinals. Again, congratulations to Paul Dolinsky and his team. Sam Dewey, the lone goal of the match, to beat the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year, Minnesota Aurora. A team that had scored 60 goals on the season did not find the back of the net today. Indy 11 women in 12 matches played have allowed 3 goals all year.
Ridiculous.
And they will host a semifinal match Friday night, 7 o'clock at Grand Park. More information, go to Indy11.com. Get your tickets, 317-685-1100. Quinn, Velasquez, Asante, Dambrot, Molina to his left.
1v1.
Molina trying to work around Yosef. Cuts it back, but nobody's there. Tulsa will find Goodrum as the outlet. Goodrum will simply hold up and wait for teammates to join him. Spell of possession is not exactly a bad thing for FC Tulsa right now. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for latest select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. It's a familiar refrain right now for the Indy 11. defensive mistake capitalized on and have not found a way to at least equalize at this point.
And this is tough. The spell of possession by Tulsa has Indy having to chase a lot, and they're emptying the take defensively, trying to win back possession of the ball. How much is left in the legs going forward?
Deespe does exactly that. And Deespe, King, Quinn, Wenzati, Martinez, the 5 players that have gone the distance tonight. Everybody else entered from the 65th minute on. Molina trying to find Pino, couldn't get it through.
Yeah, that's too tight of a game.
Both these teams, by the way, will turn around and play on Wednesday. We have referenced numerous times that Indy plays Charleston. Tulsa will return home for a match coming up on Wednesday as well. One of 6 matches that will take place across the league on Wednesday night. A lot of space was given early in the year to try to have room for Open Cup matches for team to make deep runs. Pittsburgh and Birmingham were the 2 teams that did that after Sacramento made the Open Cup final last year. Epps the target. Epps around Quinn. Quinn will be shown yellow.
What vision from Goodrum. The ball's going away from play. His back is to the field of play. He knows. I mean, he's only been, this is his 7th game with Tulsa. He knows that Epps is going to be there and just flicks it into the pocket for him.
Well, credit Goodrum. This has not been, you know, kind of his night to have many chances from a scoring standpoint. He still has had a really good night for FC Tulsa. More of the sands of the hourglass start to flow through from the Indy perspective.
Well, that's one of those things too. Is he has occupied Deespe all night, and what that does then is that does not make him as available to shift off into help positions with other defenders.
Yosef blasts away. So here's Quinn charging forward. Martinez. Good job by Armour. Well done on an island just to knock that ball sideways. Of course, this match brought to us by Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered. Quinn, Asante, and Asante. Was there a touch there? No. He left it for Gwenzati.
I would have loved to see Solo take just one more touch in there, draw everybody to the near post, and see if he can't slip it back across the middle.
We talked about Solo going for the 50-50 club along with Aiden Quinn. Solo 51 goals and 48 assists. There are times we almost want to remind Solo, hey, you do have 51 goals. You're one of the best assist makers in the history of the league. You're a pretty prolific goal scorer. Prefer to go for it from that position as well.
Great win.
Goodrum carving out some space and gets whistled for a foul. Restart a quick one by the Indy 11. Because of the way the substitutions have been bundled together, because of the lack of goal scoring in this half, I don't think we're looking at a lot of stoppage time right now either for half number 2. In other words, it is getting late early from the Indy 11 perspective. Just reminder, fans, you can take the boys in blue with you wherever you go. Martinez!
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
I think that ball was intended for Pino, and Martinez there to kind of clean it up on the back end and couldn't finish. Let's finish telling you about the Indy 11 app. It's available on the Apple Store, or you can get it in Google Play. Martinez just 1 goal this year. That came in the victory at Hartford some 2 weeks ago.
It's a great serve.
Just couldn't keep it on frame. And he has next Saturday night off. Our next Saturday night of soccer here at Carroll Stadium will be against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. As Goodrum plays that ball wide, Deespe got there first. That is our other telecast you'll be able to watch on WRTV Channel 6. Which begins at 7 o'clock 2 weeks from tonight. Wednesday's game back on My Indy TV 23. And of course, all USL Championship matches can be viewed on ESPN Plus. Or if you're Tom watching from Great Britain, you can watch it on YouTube. Hello, Tom.
Tom's awesome.
It's becoming a staple of the broadcast to say hello to him at some point in time. Dambrot weaves his way through traffic. Somehow, some way, left foot. Sprawling save made. I'm not sure it was going to be on frame, but Nelson took no chances.
My goodness, pretty cheeky from Robbie Dambrot.
That's standard operating procedure for Robbie.
This little turn right there, that's next level.
He somehow finds a way past 3 defenders.
Heart. Kid plays with such heart.
For Robbie playing in his 10th match of the season. He's missed a couple of different stints due to injury. And I'm not sure he's fully healthy just yet. Molina goes to ground to shield Nate Worth away from it. And Tulsa does have a couple of more subs they can use, but the 4 subs they have on the sidelines have largely been in stationary mode watching this game for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Asante. Quinn. Slides it through Pino. Not much he can do from that position.
Yeah, it's tough. You looked at that forward line and everybody was playing post up with the defender on your back and looking to be a target. Need to have some options, some slashing runs in there.
Tonight's game presented in part by our friends, the Central Indiana Honda dealers. Central Indiana is proud to be Honda's home turf too. Search your local Honda dealer today. Hear the voice of Gabe Zapponi from the 11 bench trying to cheer his guys on. Mark Lowry has been awfully positive with his guys from the sideline. Just not that threatening moment in the finishing third tonight. Quinzotti. Asante has Pino to his left. Taken down. Nothing in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Ball first, says the referee. And then Dees-Pay called for a foul. And Dees-Pay's been playing on a yellow for some time. That will not be a yellow, but it will be a foul. And every foul will take 20 to 30 seconds off the clock at this late stage of the match.
Yeah, not a difficult call either. You know, both hands up in the back. An argument there, but not there.
Molina taken down, and that will be a card shown to Tulsa. That's a little consequence right now. Eric Bird picks up said yellow. 3 minutes of additional time. 3 minutes left to go in this match. Indy now in point conservation mode. He's trying to pull one and keep Tulsa 4 points behind them in the Eastern Conference table. Martinez could not get there. And great clearance by the visitors.
Had so many runs deep, there was no second layer to pick that off at the top of the box.
That was McCabe that skied that one back toward the midfield. Dees-Pay, fantastic ball wide.
What a touch.
Ball taken in, knocked forward. Molina plays it through. Thought King might hammer that one. Elects to wait for a teammate. Velasquez. Asante.
Oh, so low.
Had a hit and a hope, and Not on target. If this one stays the way it is, Brad, it's kind of a takeaway from Mark Lowry's perspective?
Well, you did everything right. I mean, you won the possession battle. You created a lot of momentum and opportunities in the attacking third. It's just that final pass in, that final touch in the 18.
Indy, it certainly appears that for a fourth time, going to come up empty in terms of trying to get all 3 points against FC Tulsa. Player down for Tulsa. And the fans will gripe about that, but again, that will be time that'll get added on to the back end of this match. Well, that is Joseph that is the player that is down for the visitors. Angel Bernal is potentially going to be waved on to be the final substitution of the match for FC Tulsa, trying to see this one out. Another teenager off the bench. He's just 18 years of age. See the communication back towards the bench. Christina West is the athletic trainer. Matt Watson is the player on the other end of that communication from the field as to what to expect in terms of the injury. And it will be Joseph that will be exiting and done for the night. Our substitution brought to us by Chief Lube of Indiana. I would say you're looking at probably an additional minute now that we will play, trying to find an equalizer from the Indy 11 perspective.
So critical too that you win this ball.
You got one more chance, maybe two, if you're the Indy 11. I think I saw a look towards the bench. They said you got 2 minutes left. Molina couldn't keep it. Epps knocks it away. Goodrum sprinting towards the goal. Ball played across, and Erdl has to spray it. I believe that was Bernal that just entered the match.
Crushing turnover. Crushing turnover.
Yep.
Corner kick, another minute of the 2 is gone.
Good job by Erdl will be ready again, because after the one that got by him, Yannick's had to do much for the last 85 minutes. Obviously, you'll play it short here and go campfire style.
Yeah, they're not taking a chance. 6 players back.
Velasquez trying to dig it out of there, and eventually does.
Look at Goodrum. Look at Goodrum. My goodness. This point in the game, kid wants to win.
Maybe 15 seconds left in this one. A quick glance at the wristwatch. We continue to play on. Asante, the target, finds him on his boot.
What a touch.
It's got to be a touch or two, and that's it for the Indy 11. Asante works around his man, gets the byline, goes down, and nothing. It will be a corner. So no point to the spot, but it is a corner, and you can send everybody forward here if you're the Indy 11, including Yannick Erdl. Erdl being waved forward by Mark Lowry. Take a look in the side for yourself. I understand not wanting to give a penalty at this late stage of the match. Of course, Asante drew both penalties last week for Indy. Ball sent in.
Oh, great job by Nelson.
Catch made, that's it. Tulsa has come in and won this building again. They have a victory here in each of the last 3 years. And Indy still with just one home victory at the midway point of the season. Indy could not carry the momentum of being a man down and 2 goals down and rescuing a point 7 days ago. A goose egg on the board. One early turnover was the difference maker. Moses Dyer, the lone goal scorer tonight for FC Tulsa. And for Michael Nelson, who was second in the league in saves coming in, just a third clean sheet of the season. FC Tulsa now a second road victory. They've both been a part of the I-65 corridor. They have won at Lou City and at the Indy 11. It all adds up to a 1-0 defeat for the boys in blue tonight.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You look at this, and when you do the metrics and you do the statistics, you do the autopsy on this, you played well. It's a missed touch that falls right to the feet of Dyer in the 18. He does what he needs to do to put it away, and then you're just unable to find the equalizer.
Time now for our Sports Tech HQ stat of the game. It's going to be shots versus shots on goal for the Indy 11. Indy in tonight's matchup had 18 shots, or 19 actually, but of those only 6 were on target. That is our Sports Tech HQ set of the game. Brad, what does that number or those two numbers tell you?
Well, it's efficiency in the final third. You're doing everything right systemically and in the way that tactically you've put the game plan together to generate 19 shots. But to only put 6 on goal means it needs to be a little tighter focus on the efficiency in the attacking third.
And again, you frankly don't have much time to think about this one or recover, because you've got one of the teams at the top of the table that frankly you lit up in their building 5 weeks ago that will have revenge on their minds as the Charleston Battery head to Indianapolis for a midweeker coming up on Wednesday.
And then what? You throw in the gauntlet after Charleston of Pittsburgh, Lou City, Tampa Bay. It doesn't get easy at any point now.
It is the top of the table. It is a wonderful opportunity. It is a bear in terms of the talent that Indy will play between now and the end of the month. Tonight, Indy trailed from the 6th minute on and could never get that goal back. Created numerous opportunities, could never sneak it by Michael Nelson. 1-0. FC Tulsa is the winner tonight. Stay tuned. Post-game coverage from Carroll Stadium comes your way next on WRTV6, the Indy 11 television network, and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
From the engine to the transmission, Honda certified it. Drive with confidence, knowing from mile 1 to mile 100,000, you're backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. From the engine to the transmission, Honda certified it. Drive with confidence, knowing from mile 1 to mile 100,000, you're backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Only available at your local Honda dealer.
For over a century, Indiana has been the destination for sports innovation and the state where champions are crowned. Now, we're entering a new era with Sports Tech HQ, a place that inspires innovation and invests in entrepreneurs who are changing the game, one startup at a time. Welcome to the crossroads of sports and technology. Sports Tech HQ, home of the game changers.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Stand by me. From the engine to the transmission, Honda certified it. Drive with confidence, knowing from mile 1 to mile 100,000, you're backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Only available at your local Honda dealer.
Back at Carroll Stadium, this one did not go the way the home fans had hoped nor expected it to. FC Tulsa picks up just their 4th win of the season in total, their 2nd road win of the season. They scored the only goal this match 5.5 minutes in, and as has been the script for the Indy 11, they kind of follow the plan on both the offensive and defensive side. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hodder with you here on RTV6, the Indy 11 television network, as well as ESPN+. A defensive miscue at the back. Tulsa collected, pounced on it, and scored. Possession and shots favored the Indy 11. None of those shots found the back of the net. We kind of hadn't seen that script since the first couple of months of the season. It reared its ugly head again tonight.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where you look at it and it feels like some games are cursed. Here's an effort to clear the ball, goes off of Mishak's foot and falls right to the foot of a Tulsa forward at the top of the box unmarked. You know, you couldn't write that. You couldn't script that. And then you have to fight for 85 minutes to try and equalize in the match.
How do you kind of keep your sanity when that has happened now numerous times during the course of the season?
Well, you got to keep everybody grounded. You know, you've got a veteran team, so guys have been through this kind of stuff before. They've seen, you know, snake bit games and games that just don't go your way. And so as long as nobody's saying, oh my goodness, this is something that's just haunting us and we can't get back, and you start losing confidence, that's when it starts to erode as far as the team in the locker room.
Moses Dyer, again, his 3rd goal of the season. Little did we know it, because we said immediately, hey, kind of thought this was going to be a 3-2 or a 2-1 type of game. He's like, all right, that's the first one. I'm going to be the only one. Well, 90 minutes later, it's the only one we saw all night long.
Well, in situations like that, you know, Tulsa being desperate for a win and desperate for points and trying to climb their way back in, when you get that early one, that changes your willingness to go forward. So you could see Tulsa doing a really concentrated effort on making sure they had numbers behind the ball.
Just the 3rd time that Tulsa has put up a clean sheet this year. The other 2 were both in 0-0 draws, so they get their first 1-0 victory of the season. We're now thrilled to be joined by a guy, and you know, we always enjoy talking to him after every match, win or lose, but we frankly would have had him on last week had not Mother Nature gotten in the way, and we could not have him on the post-game show last week. He's kind of to join us this week after putting in another 95-minute shift. I think he has missed all of 30 minutes all season long. His next match, if he goes the distance on Wednesday, he will surpass 20,000 minutes played in the USL Championship. One of the many factoid superlatives we can use about Aiden Quinn, who joins us now. Aiden, we'll get to the individual accolades that you're starting to kind of trip in your career over these next few matches in a moment. Just overall, how you feeling after putting in 95 minutes in a 1-0 loss?
Yeah, tonight's a bit disappointing. We gave up another early goal, another mistake. Seems like we keep doing that to ourselves, and we have to keep fighting. And so until we knock those out, it's going to be tough for us to win some games. We gotta start the game strong and give us ourselves a chance.
Well, we were hoping for any goals in terms of run-of-play goals, but even a penalty or two to get you to that favorite spot of yours, because we've noted the fact that you've now scored 5 in 16 matches, which puts you 2nd in club history already. But you are the leading penalty taker and maker in the history of the USL Championship. You have now made 23 out of 26. Your last 2 got you to 50 goals in your career. Let's start with that 50 number. Crossing that plateau as a player, what does that mean to you?
It means I've played with a lot of good players on a lot of good teams. I've gotten good chances because of the guys I've played with, and I'm just lucky enough to be able to finish some goals and help the team out in any way I can.
Well, we talked about the minutes and the number of matches played. This has been an absolutely storied career. Obviously, when I ask this question, you're going to say this chapter. But in all the stops, in all the years, and all the seasons, what has been the favorite chapter in your storied career?
I like to live in the present. I think right now I love it. I have my daughter who's 8 months, so she gets to see me play. She probably won't remember, of course, but that for me is very special. And so I'm just enjoying the present right now.
Well, to that point, again, you played your college soccer in the Midwest. Your wife is from the Midwest. It's part of the reason why you are here. You wanted to get back closer to her family. What has this returned, if not to Indiana, but the Midwest in general? What's that meant for you and the missus and the new addition?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Our daughter's grandparents are around, so they've been to games. I know some of them are here tonight, so that's awesome. They help, and as we all know, the more helps, the better, so that's great for us. But, yeah, we enjoy the Midwest. We enjoy everywhere we've been, so we just try to make things positive wherever we're at, and we're really enjoying our time right now.
Well, the good part about her being young and missing games is we've taped all this. So you've got all of your career that you're going to be able to watch.
I don't know if she'll believe me.
They're all on YouTube, my friend, from the last 10 years. You're in good shape.
As a former goalkeeper, I look at the situations you've been in twice this year, hitting two PKs in 2 different games. In that, what is your mindset going in? How much are you thinking, I got to change it up because he knew where I went, or how much are you just thinking, I know where I'm going to go and I'm going to beat him to that spot?
Yeah, it's just having some confidence and then making sure I strike the ball well. And if I do it properly, it should go in. And I believe in myself with the confidence, obviously. So far, it's been good.
Don't know if the full 90 is in the cards for you on Wednesday, knowing it's a 4-day turnaround. But if you at least make it to 85, you'll become either the second or third player in the history of the USL Championship to play 20,000 minutes. What does that number mean to you?
It means I've been in the league a long time. It just shows that I guess I'm fit. One of the best abilities is availability, and I think I've been pretty healthy throughout my career, so that's been great, knock on wood. But yeah, it's just me trying to help out the team no matter any which way I can.
I'm going to bring in Brad to kind of help out on this question.
Heads up.
Because I didn't play against your dad, but he did in terms of indoor soccer. What traits of Brian do you see in Aiden as a player?
Warrior. Absolute warrior. Absolute love it. Never misses a moment. Always there in the clutch. Always there when you need him. Great, you're a great player, and you look, there's so much of your dad in you.
And
that's
Aiden,
a great compliment. Thank you.
I was like, Aiden, what do you see of your dad in terms of your playing skills?
I think I've taken everything I can from him. I think he was a better player than me, so I've just tried to take what I can from him and learn as much as possible because obviously he's been at a higher level. He's coached at a higher level, and take all his advice. And I know I'm stubborn, but I always keep it in the back of my mind and try to get as close to him as possible, even though he's probably still beating me on the soccer tennis court still to this day.
Different era with VHS and beta tapes. Have you been able to see much of his career?
I watched a little bit, but we've always played growing up, and even with his 2 fake hips, he would beat me. So you could tell how good he was. And then everybody that I come in contact with that played with him or against him, nothing but praise for him. So I think that speaks highly of him.
You don't potentially have a chance to be a 50-50 guy in this league or play 20,000 minutes if you're not pretty good too. We've made you stand up for 5 minutes after being on your feet for the last 95. Go get off them. Go get some rest. Thanks for the time after a tough defeat. We'll see you Wednesday night.
Thanks, guys.
Aiden Quinn, kind enough to join us, and we've got a graphic put together that kind of talks about what Aiden Quinn has done at various stops along the way. He played for FC Cincinnati and for Lou City kind of before the Indy 11 got to the USL Championship. When Indy got to the USL Championship, Aiden was lighting things up in Orange County, or then playing for Phoenix Risings. This is really our first chance to see him play over these last 6 years on a regular basis. The fact that he is in the top 10 in 4 different career categories in this league, I'm not sure there's anything else, Brad, that you need to say on the subject.
Well, he talks about availability, so he's kept himself in good form throughout his career, but the one thing that is really difficult for a player like Aiden to handle is when your father is this epic superstar, there is this additional pressure on you. And for him to be able to live up to his potential under that weight is impressive.
And trying to do this in the span of 15 to 20 seconds, Aiden's dad, Brian, played in the Everton system growing up, came to the States to play in the kind of last days of the NASL. Then, like many players such as yourself that played professionally in the 80s, early 90s, if you wanted to play pro in the States, You played arena soccer. You played for the San Diego Sockers and was a legend there and was a member of the U.S. men's national team in the early 90s. Was one of the last guys cut before the 94 World Cup. And these days, Brian's the head soccer coach at the University of San Diego.
That San Diego Sockers team was epic. I mean, you've got Segota through there. You've got Victor Noguera, Quinn. I mean, that was the franchise in professional soccer at the time.
All right, we'll hope to talk to Mark Lowry at some point in time during a half hour of our post-game show. That will likely do it in terms of our player conversations after tonight's match. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, more in the way that things played out tonight. And again, while it wasn't a win for the Indy 11 men this evening, it was very much a win for the Indy 11 women this afternoon. And a league semifinal is coming to the Indianapolis area next week. More on that in a moment as you're watching Indy 11 post-game coverage.
Meet Chip. 30 years ago, he started a small business with a big idea. Today, there's a new building, a new fleet of equipment, and a new era of leadership. But we know Chip, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he plans to keep growing, building business with the next generation. IMCU is here to help with secure and simple account management tools and commercial financing to grow business. Today, it's all about Chip. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Con el 1, 2, 3, tú a ver con el 1, 2, 3, tienes que ver actitud, actitud, actitud. Esto se hizo para bailar como el mambo, cuando tú lo escuchas te enloqueces bailando.
When your cat's a meme and your dog is too.
And it's hard to know what's fake or true.
Just raise a glass with a friend or two.
Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
It's a crazy world, so what do you do?
Tell them more, tell them more, tell them more, do.
Well, from an Indy 11 perspective, we had hoped it would be a double-header sweep tonight, and it wasn't two games that were played here. Yes, there were undrafted games that were played here today, and we'll talk more about that if time allows as well. But no, the Indy 11 women have just won twice in the span of 72 hours to advance on to the USL W League semifinals. They were the Valley Division champs, having gone 8-1-1 in 10 games of regular season play that stretched from May 10th through June 30th. So they then qualified for the playoffs. A bit of a different format this year. 8 teams made the playoffs out of 44 in the W League last year. 16 teams made it out of 65 this year. There were 4 different kind of pod sites that were done regionally. The Indy 11 pod was in Flint. They beat Flint City, who was a divisional foe for them last year, beat them 3-0 on Thursday. And then last year's runners-up, and kind of one of only the few teams that consistently has outdrawn the Indy 11 women from an attendance standpoint, was Minnesota Aurora. They have been the darlings of the league. Runners-up last year. Indy beat them 1-0 this afternoon.
Yeah, and St. Charles is key in this. You take a look at that loss, the unexpected loss. No goals given up since, so you've done very well there. But the big concern for me was winning 16-0 before you head into the playoffs. You want to be sharp. You want your team to be on their best and on edge, and there just wasn't enough challenge. So was very excited to see them come out of that first match.
Let me point out on your screen, that is not a typo. Yes, they won 16-0. And this sounds crazy to say when a team that got beat by 16 goals. Compared to St. Charles, they played. Yeah. They came. They had 9 players for their final match. They played. They competed. Indy 11 stayed sharp. 4 goals that day for Maddie Williams, 3 for Sam Dewey. And Sam, goals in each of the last 2 games. She had the only tally this afternoon. And much like Cam Lindley, she made SportsCenter for a backheel goal that she had on Thursday night.
I'd say she's heating up at the right time, but to be honest with you, she's been on fire all season.
So these, we don't literally have enough time to show you all 16 goals from last Friday night. It was a very unique experience for me, having 16 goal calls to make in the span of 90 minutes. But one of the things that you see with this group, this is a pre-professional league, but as long as you're not a current pro, you can play. Indy's got players like Sam Dewey and Maddie Williams, and a recent ad in Annika Creel that have spent time playing overseas or playing in the NWSL. So these are players that are professional caliber. They're playing for this Indy 11 W League squad.
Right, I tell you, great players are attracted to great franchises, great coaches, great legacy, great opportunities. And you look at what everything is going on with Indy 11, this is a great spot to be.
Not sure which team that Indy will play next week. We know they will be at home. It'll be Friday night indoors at the Grand Park Indoor Event Center. Simply put, log on to Indy11.com, call 317-685-1100. We can probably get around 2,000 fans. If the fire marshal's not there, maybe a few more to watch this team play. Indy 11 men play Wednesday. There's no Indy 11 soccer next weekend. Go see these women play. They are so phenomenal. They have lost 2 matches in 2 years, and they are potentially 2 matches away from winning a national championship in the 2nd year of the franchise.
Just hearing you say that makes me smile.
So again, we'll learn who they play probably at the end of business tomorrow. There was one other quarterfinal taking place tonight. There are 2 quarterfinals taking place tomorrow. There will be a team out west. There'll be kind of one in the southeastern part of the states, one in the northeastern part of the United States. Indy is already the Midwestern champions. They will play twice. If they're able to win next Friday, the championship match would be the following weekend, and there is a chance that match could be here in Indianapolis again. A good way to ensure that happens is A, Indy wins next Friday. B, they have a wonderful crowd to support them again. Indy11.com, 317-685-1100 is the phone number you can pick up for more ticket information. So post-game coverage continues from Carroll Stadium. We'll take this quick timeout, come back with some final thoughts on this one. Indy falls to FC Tulsa 1-0. We're back to wrap it up next on WRTV6 and ESPN+.
From the engine to the transmission, Honda certified it. Drive with confidence, knowing from mile 1 to mile 100,000, you're backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Only available at your local Honda dealer.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best. Stand by me.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
From the engine to the transmission, Honda certified it. Drive with confidence, knowing from mile 1 to mile 100,000, you're backed with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Only available at your local Honda dealer.
Back for the final time this evening here at Carroll Stadium. Greg Rakestraw, Brad Hunter with you. Again, Indy 11 fall to FC Tulsa tonight by a score of 1-0. These 2 teams will get back together.